And Shark Tank investor Kevin O'Leary. It looks like all roads have brought us to Mr. Wonderful this morning. It's good to see you, sir. Thanks for joining us.
Happy to be here. Thank you.
All right. So part of the judgment here, it's not just the dollar amount. Donald Trump is barred from operating a business in New York for 3 years. One of my questions is, all right, let's say this all stands 3 years down the line. Why on earth would he want to come back here to do business after this?
Well, this case really isn't just about Donald Trump. This is an assault on the 11th sector of the S&P 500, which is real estate. Step back and think about what this means for the state of New York. Development of real estate creates millions of jobs in America. And once the buildings are stabilized and rented out or used for commercial real estate or whatever, they generate cash flow and they're put into REITs. And you and I invest in those, retirees invest in them, and that's how they get income. That's why it became the 11th sector of the S&P. It's so important to the American economy. Very few sectors generate as much cash as this does. And so if you're a developer, you're an entrepreneur, you go to a bank and you say, look, I want to borrow $200 million to build a building. And they say, well, what assets do you have we can secure this loan against? And you point to a building you built before. And you haggle and you argue about the value of that building. This goes on in every city on earth. That's how real estate developers who are entrepreneurs and take risk borrow money. That's exactly what happened here. Now, all of a sudden, after this is built successfully and finished, for some reason, this judge takes it upon himself to fine this developer. Forget that it's Trump. This is not about Trump anymore. If you're a developer and you see this happen in the state of New York, why would you take the risk to put up this much money and have a judge arbitrarily decide that you are in some form of breach of fraud when no damages occurred at all? And this is the same process that occurs everywhere. This is about the competition of states. I thought before this judgment that the #1 loser state in America was California, which is basically putting itself out of business slowly and surely. But after this judgment, I'm going to make New York the #1 loser state, followed by California, then Massachusetts, New Jersey, Michigan. These are places where taxes are not competitive. Delaware, for example, is now on the loser state list because it's unstable policy on the Elon Musk decision. You don't have to put your money into places where this kind of thing happens. Each of us as investors, we vote with our capital. Why punish a great state because it doesn't happen to be on the east or west coast? I say go to Florida, go to Texas, go to North Dakota, Oklahoma, West Virginia. These are winner states. Why go to a loser state like New York?
Well, I think a lot of people are doing precisely that, not just with their businesses, but with their families as well. Kevin, we were quoting yesterday, the Associated Press said they could not find another case like this in 70 years under this law, the application of this law in New York. Have you ever seen anything like we just witnessed from this judge and this AG?
No, I never have. And frankly, you know, what's occurred all around the world with developers look at this and don't understand why this complaint was brought forward in the first place. And my own opinion is that this will be overturned eventually somewhere. It has to be, because this is so damaging to business in New York. I mean, this stands up on the, if it did stand up, it would basically tell you as an investor to avoid this jurisdiction because of the unstable policy. It's wrong in every way. I don't know how an arbitrary amount of $355 million was assigned to this, or why you'd ban this particular developer from developing for 3 years. Forget about the Trump factor. It's not about that. What does this say to everybody that wants to do work in New York, that wants to risk capital? I mean, it's a huge mistake. And this judge arbitrarily deciding that this is the right amount, I don't understand it. No developer does. It's an atrocity. It's an embarrassment. But it's an assault on real estate, the 11th sector of the S&P 500. Why? This is crazy. And of course, it's got to be appealed and it'll be reversed eventually. It can't stand. It makes no sense.
Well, Kevin, I know your time is valuable. We're up on a break. And for those reasons, I'm out. Kevin O'Leary, thanks so much.
Take care. Thank you.